This video is brought to you by Sporlan, quality, integrity, and tradition.
Well, today's call is actually that they have a broken thermostat. I don't know how they did that. They shattered it. Like the door, there's nothing there to break it. I don't know. Or they leaned something up against the wall and the door hit it or something. I usually carry these thermostats, but I don't happen to have one right now. So we're going to run to the supply house, pick one up real quick, and then we'll get this thing replaced for them. All right, I got the new thermostat installed, new sub base. We're going to snap this on. I already started pre-setting it up. That number right there is the password, so write it down because sometimes you might need it when you're setting it up, just so you don't have to take it off the wall again. This goes right there. The indoor sensor is on T-Stat terminal S1. I just wanted to go through there, and I don't remember what sensor type it is. So we're going to assume it's a 20K and hit done. Exit installer setup, yes, and let's see if the temperature reads correctly. If not, we'll have to change it to 10K. And it looks like, yeah, if it was set on the wrong one, it reads like drastically crazy. So no, that is accurate. So now we need to set the time and the date. Let's see, so all right, I'm about to turn power back on at the unit, but I pulled the cover off the blower. Belt's decent. It's in decent shape. It was installed on 9/30/24, and there's a spare in there, so that's a good thing. So we're gonna fire this up, see what happens. Oop, scared me. Indoor blower motor's running though, so that's good. Is this thing bypassed, I wonder? It looks like this thing's bypassed. It's blower drive. Yeah, because the plug and everything's all bypassed right there. I'm surprised there's not a contactor installed. Oh, this is something we'll have to bring up to them because that blower just runs all the time then. So now we're gonna wait for this to turn on in heating and cooling, make sure everything's good with that, and then we'll know that the thermostat's done correctly. I'm also gonna be changing their AC filters because they're all plugged up, and I got authorization from the customer to do that. So while I was picking up the thermostat, before I did that, I pulled out all the filters at all their ACs, got the sizes, and brought those back with me too, so that way we can knock it out. Just naturally, I know I could put the thermostat in test mode too, but I didn't. So we got first stage running right now. We got to wait for second stage to kick on. I also got to pay attention because the economizer can rob the second stage depending on how it's set up. It can turn on first stage and use it as the second stage. Sometimes it'll open the economizer for first stage, use compressors for second stage, like they'll do all kinds of weird things. So don't underestimate the J8 economizer module depending on how it's set up. This one is getting really hard to read, which it gets that way when they've been installed in the outdoor area where it's warm. The display tends to get like messed up, so it's really hard to see. I can't show it on camera, but it's just like all, like you can barely see status, and it's just because of the heat in my experience. So We're gonna watch this for a few minutes, wait for second stage to kick on, and like I said, I'm gonna jump on changing all the filters too. And second stage just kicked in, and I did confirm it is not economizing. It's really not warm enough outside to really test cooling at this point because it's in the 60s and I'm freezing out the dining room. They're in heating mode right now. So I saw that cooling works. It's not shutting off on low pressure as far as I know. We're gonna leave it at that. We'll leave for a cooling startup when it's warmer outside and we can actually check that and, you know, not be way too cold ambient kind of a thing. So all that I'm gonna do is make sure it goes into heating mode, and then once we're good with that, we'll put all the panels back on. And heat is now fired up. We're good. So we're gonna go put the thermostat back in normal operation. And like I said, proceed with these filters. Doing a filter change real quick, right? It's so important, and I know people are gonna get upset with what I'm about to say, but like, let's take ownership of the jobs that we're on. Let's make sure that we're thorough. Let's be valuable to our company and become an asset to the customer you're working for. Don't wear headphones when you're on the roof. Listen to the equipment. It allows you to observe, right? I was here and I was able to bring up to them, hey, your AC filters are plugged up. Is that something you want me to take care of? Yeah, they do, right? Okay, cool. That wasn't part of what I was here for. And I'm not being shady at all. Filters haven't been changed since September, but it's time. Like, they need to be changed, you know? It's now March, you know, they're plugged, they're sucking in. So I'm trying to be you know, give the added value to the customer. I'm observing, I'm listening, and I'm bringing stuff up. You know, I was working on that AC, changed the thermostat that they broke. I noticed that the indoor blower motors bypassed the VFD. So that's something I'm gonna bring up to them. I'm not just gonna put blinders on and ignore that. Now, they might not fix it. They might wanna leave it bypassed. That's fine. But I'm gonna do my due diligence and notify them, let them know, hey, this needs to be changed. These filters are bad. This motor's making a noise. While I was downstairs too, I went ahead and turned every thermostat into cooling. Made sure I let the manager know, hey, it's gonna get cold for a minute. Just because I'm up here, I might as well hear these compressors turn on and run, right? Verify all the condenser fan motors are working. You know, be the valuable technician for the company and be an asset to the customer you're working for. That's so important. As I'm changing the filters, I'm paying attention. Look at the evaporator. It's got a bunch of lint and dirt buildup. Now, I'm not necessarily gonna clean that today because this needs a thorough cleaning, but we're gonna bring it to the customer's attention. Again, using this opportunity because we're here doing something that they want us to do, and we're just simply observing and bringing up other issues to them. We're not creating work, we're just opening our eyes, using our ears, listening, and pointing out what we see and what we find, okay? So in no way are we being shady, in no way are we being deceptive. All I'm doing is just notifying the customer, hey, while I was changing your filters, notice that the evaporators are dirty. That's something we probably want to get taken care of before cooling season comes, you know? Or while, you know, right now, because it's heating season, who knows? So I'll bring this stuff up to them, but you could clearly see, like, look at these filters. Plugged, solid. It is March 18th. These were changed September 30th of 24. So yeah, to say they needed to be replaced is an understatement. All right, and while I was up here, I went ahead and grabbed the metal mesh filters and I put some yellow venom pack in my Viper coil gun, and we're just letting it sit on the filters. Remember, the yellow venom pack is completely aluminum safe. It's not going to etch the aluminum, eat it away, or anything like the blue cleaners would. So the trick to this is a pre-rinse, then let the coil cleaner sit on there for a few minutes, then rinse it off again, and you should be good to go. And if you do it like this, I put just barely a little bit in there, and we just about used it all on these multiple filters right here.
I can't stress enough that when I'm on these service calls, you know, within reason, I'm always looking around. I'm always listening. The headphones thing, that is like a huge thing. Don't wear headphones on the roof because it doesn't allow you to go above and beyond when you're on the job. And look, I know that some of you don't want to work, you know, any harder than you have to. And you know, to each their own. But if you truly want to make a difference, and if you truly want to be that next level technician, you need to step back and look at the big picture. You need to be observant. You need to be looking around and listening, being proactive, bringing things to the customer's attention. A routine maintenance is exactly that. It's there on a regular basis to go and maintain their equipment, okay? But, you know, sometimes customers don't do that. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't do it enough. Either way, when I have an opportunity, I'm going to open my eyes, use my ears, and I'm going to look around, and I'm going to bring things to the customer's attention. And again, it's perfectly fine if they don't want to fix the problems, but I'm going to document it. I'm going to say, hey, I brought this to you, I'm bringing this to your attention because this is going to become a problem in the next month or two, and we, even when the customers aren't doing routine maintenance, that has gotten us through for our company, is just going to the restaurant, and all of our employees, we bring it to their attention. Hey, when you're there, when you're all done with the service call, what you're there to fix, do me a favor, take 15 minutes, jump on the roof, go look at the ACs, go listen, go down to the walk-ins, look at the evaporators, look at the fan motors, and just bring it to the customer's attention. Even when the customer wasn't doing routine maintenance, that kept us going strong. Every opportunity we had to get into the restaurant, all we would do is just look around. Now, we're not like pulling things apart. We're not going that crazy. We're just looking and listening, and you'd be so surprised how easy it is to find things that need to be fixed, okay? We're not generating problems, just like I said in the video. We're not being shady. We're not being deceptive. We're not doing anything, right? It's so funny when I see these gurus and sales training classes, and all they're doing is telling technicians how to, how to interact with the customer, and what to say when the customer says, I don't have the budget, or I don't have the money. It just baffles me, because if you are a true HVAC technician, I don't care if it's residential or commercial, all you got to do is just open your eyes and look around. It really makes me think that these companies are doing the wrong kind of training, because if you sent technicians to some sort of service tech training, not sales crap, just being a service tech, my gosh, maybe I need to start something like that. Maybe that's my next big thing, is start some sort of, I don't even know how to do it. I would love to do it. Like, come for a ride along with me, or let me come, fly me out and let me do ride-alongs with your technicians. I'm spitballing as we're talking right now, but we gotta do better, and we gotta be service techs. We don't need to be salesmen, okay? And again, I know that this industry needs sales. I don't mean to make it sound like being a salesman is a shady thing, but it can be. But so can being a service tech. You can be a deceptive service tech. You can tell the customer that things are broken when they're not. But I think that eventually the customer is going to catch on if you're not honest and trustworthy. I try to be as honest as possible, and just bring things to the customer's attention. Okay. So I don't have to work hard. All I do is just listen, just look around, and experience though too. I can't send someone that's completely green out there and say, go do a maintenance and expect them to find all these problems. Right. But with experience, when you've done it enough, and that's where I think apprenticeship really comes into play. Technicians need to have a proper apprenticeship. You can't be hired out of trade school and thrown in a van in a month and expected to start fixing things. That's not going to work. For the very, very 0.0001% of the techs that happens to, it might work out, but everybody else, it's just going to lead to bad habits, or it's going to burn out the techs, and it's just going to be a problem. Okay, so I got a call for a broken thermostat, went ahead and changed the thermostat. Everything was good, verified operation. Now, I said that I could have put the thermostat into test mode, but I didn't, because I really just like to use normal heating and cooling just to make sure the thermostat's working right too, because I could put it in test mode and get first and second stage cooling to turn on right away. But by doing it the way that I did it, I got to see and make sure that the thermostat had the proper delay between first and second stage, so I just like to do it that way. And, if you do it differently, that's fine. I'm not saying that my way is the only way. It's not. That's just the way that my brain, works through things. So I changed the thermostat. I mentioned that I did not go completely through the cooling cycle, because they weren't complaining about heating or cooling. They were just complaining about a broken thermostat, okay? But I still made sure that cooling came on first and second stage to make sure I did everything right in the thermostat. And the same thing for heating, made sure that heating came on. I did bring to the customer's attention that I would like to put a contactor on that AC. It'll save them a little energy. We could get rid of that VFD, because that VFD is just trash anyways. They just go bad left and right on that particular unit. Now, if it was another branded unit, or if the customer would let me, I'd install a new VFD and install it downstairs or in a better location. But on those smaller carrier units like that, they're just going to burn through those VFDs no matter where they're installed. It's just not a good idea. So anyways, I brought to the customer's attention that I'd like to put a contactor on that unit. I also brought to their attention, clearly the filters, and they approved me to do that. And then I rinsed all the metal mesh filters for the ACs, and there's 1 or 2 ACs that need new metal mesh filters. So I bring that to their attention too. So all that, and I was able to generate a couple hours worth of work by just looking when I was up there. Hey, your filters are plugged up. They haven't been changed since September. It's now March. This is going to be a problem. We're coming into spring. And they said, oh yeah, please take care of it. Boom. Like, all I had to do was say something. And while I was up there, rinsed the metal mesh filters, saw that the contactor wasn't working. I may or may not have been able to hear that stuff if I would have just put headphones on and just, focused on changing the thermostat and moved on. So you gotta pay attention. You gotta remember that, when you're on the clock, and I know everybody's going to get so upset at what I'm saying right now, but when you're on the clock, it's not you time. It's company time. Okay. And make it beneficial, right? Be there. Be a true technician. Add value to what you're giving the customer. Give them the best bang for their buck, essentially, right? That's my 2 cents. I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I really appreciate you making it to the end of the video. Thank you so very much. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. And check out my website, HVACRvideos.com. It's a great way to help support the channel. We got these hats available, beanies, stickers, couple t-shirts and sweaters left, but those are phasing out. So it's mainly just going to be hats, beanies, and stickers as time goes on. As soon as the overstock of sweatshirts and t-shirts sells out, we're going to phase those ones out. But that's a great way to help support the channel if you're interested in doing so. But the easiest way to support this channel is literally just watch these videos from beginning to end. That really is the easiest way. You can also support it via PayPal, Patreon, or YouTube channel memberships. So someone had recently emailed me saying, hey, what is the benefit that I get for being a Patreon or a YouTube channel member? And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, okay? For YouTube channel memberships, if you're a YouTube channel member, a good majority of the time you're going to get early access to the videos, but I'm not going to promise that, okay? I can't give any more effort to these videos. I already give my life for these videos, essentially, right? I work a full day. Literally, I worked 8 or 9 hours today, and then I came home and I've been sitting at a computer editing this video for the last hour, and here we are recording an outro. So I'm not saying that pity me. I'm just saying that, like, I would love to say that if you become a Patreon or a YouTube channel member that you're going to get this, and that, but it's not really, okay? Patreon and YouTube channel memberships are just a way to support the channel if you're interested in doing so. For YouTube channel memberships, if you support via that way, then, sometimes you're going to get early access to the videos, but the videos will still be released to the public. I do not put content, at least my existing normal of the run YouTube videos, behind a paywall or anything like that. I'm not going to a Patreon only subscription model or YouTube channel membership subscription model. No, I'm not saying that someday in the future there might not be something behind a paywall, but my plan is to keep these videos the way that they are, give you the service related videos. Maybe I'll go more in depth on something, but for now, you're really not going to get anything else other than committing to help the channel on a regular basis when you become a Patreon or a YouTube channel member. Okay. So hopefully that works for you. Another way to help support the channel, if you're interested in doing so, is going to TrueTechTools.com. TrueTechTools.com is a tool website where I get a good majority of my tools from. I'm looking at all sorts of stuff right here. Viper coil gun right here. Big Blue right here. I mean, all sorts of tools, right? I got field piece meter right here. A good majority of that stuff I picked up from TrueTechTools.com. If you go to their website, I actually have an affiliate program set up with them. So if you use my offer code Big Picture, one word, you can get a nice discount at checkout, and then I get a small commission from that. Great way to help support the channel if you're interested in doing so. Feel free to share that offer code with friends that that like the channel. If they don't already, share the channel, share the offer code. It's just another great way to help support the channel. Okay, again, TrueTechTools.com. I really do appreciate you. Let me just make sure in my head right now. We talked about subscribing to the YouTube channel. We talked about, what I didn't talk about, I have to run through this because I always forget to talk about this stuff. If you guys have any questions, comments, you feel free to put them in the YouTube comments. If not, you can shoot me an email, hvacrvideos@gmail.com. Let me know if there's anything you need to talk about, whatever. I'll try to get back with you. I'm not the best, but I try, okay? Work's starting to pick up and get busy, so things are going to get a little bit hectic. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate you. Thanks for the continued support. Share the videos if you can, please, and we will catch you on the next one.